to get the maximum amount of return for the minimum amount of effort. Oakcraft couldn't pay me, they don't have enough cash to pay me to come talk to all you guys individually. Most of you guys don't have enough money to hire my company to come in and work with you. But Oakcraft does have the ability to structure our time together so that I can touch each one of you as a valued customer of Oakcraft, and you can take the information that I share with businesses at no cost to you, essentially. Michael Gruber wrote a book called The E-Myth, and I got to tell you, I've worked with small businesses most of my career. I don't keep very many big contracts with large corporations because they want to deal with, you know, Harvard and the MBA people and McKinsey and that stuff. So I take all the people they won't work with because they're too cool. And I like working with smaller companies. You can affect more change. And Michael Gruber said one of the challenges with most businesses is the people who own them are craftsmen. In the cabinet business, we're cabinet people who got tired of working for a stupid boss, right? If you go back to servant leadership this morning, had an entrepreneurial seizure, started their own business, and then said, oh crap. And it's not that they don't love cabinets, and it's not that they don't understand what a great cabinet is like, but most of us in this business, and most of you guys who are dealers, you were installers, you were carpenters, you were craftspeople, right? And you said, you know what? You got big enough, you got good enough that you decided you wanted to run your own business and you became dealers. And then you went, what did I do? And the problem is most people who are entrepreneurs don't spend enough time working on their business. They spend all their time working in their business. And Michael Gruber called this process the E-Myth. And he said, as an entrepreneur, until you can begin to learn how to work on your business, not in it, then what you end up doing is perpetuating the same brief successes that make you just enough money to suffer for the next 6 months while you get through. And that happens in plumbing, that happens in carpeting, that happens in every kind of business that you look at. I use this quote, this is from Albert Einstein, just about every day that I work in my life with every business I work with. And I want you to think about the last year, the economic downturn, the stuff that's gone on. Would most of you guys say that in the last year you've given more to your respective jobs than you got paid for? You've gotten up early, you stayed up late, right? You've done multitasking, you're doing things that you were never hired to do. Some of you have more job titles than could fit on a single business card. Is that fair to say? Now think about this. After 12 months of getting up early, staying up late, multitasking, being inventive, being creative, doing all the things you've done, you've gotten yourselves as screwed up as you are today. Is that not exciting? I mean, when you think about it, it just warms your heart. And the challenge, and what Albert Einstein said, was the same level of thinking that created the problem can't solve the problem. By definition, that's the case. In order to solve the problem, you need to have a different level of thinking. One of the most important things you could do as a marketer, again, you're going to work on your business, not in your business, is listen to different voices. If you get into the cabinet industry, what kind of people do you talk to? Cabinet people, right? If you get in the automotive retail, in the car business, what kind of people do you talk to? Car people. And pretty much that's all you talk to. And all the cabinet people know all the same stuff. So, and have you ever gotten together at like a KCMA conference or something and you share all the problems with the industry? How many times in the middle of that has someone said, I have a solution to that, mind if I share it? No. And one of the reasons we can't solve a lot of the problems we exist is because we're all listening to the same voices. We build these little insular communities where if they don't, and don't you develop an inside language? Isn't there cabinet speak? And even in your company, there's like RC speak, isn't there? You know, its own little Oakcraft speak and little shorthand stuff. And when people don't know the language, you know that they're either lazy or stupid. Exactly. You getting the pattern on this one? And one of the best ways to become more successful is to listen to different voices. My favorite example of this is Nokia cell phones. For years, what kind of people design cell phones? What kind of background and education do you need to be the guys that design and build cell phones? Engineers, right. Now, do engineers, when you think engineer, do you think fun, happy, exciting? What do you think? Stuffed in a locker in junior high, didn't date a whole lot, kind of struggles with interpersonal relationships. And, well, I mean, not to stereotype, but you guys ran through your head, so stay with me here. And when you think, most of the engineers, the way they judged success was, could you put more features in a given phone? That made it a better phone. Nokia wanted to take over the cell phone market. And remember, they're based out of Sweden, and Sweden has made this shift that they got rid of landlines and everybody's using cell phones. Nokia said cell phones are the wave of the future. We need to do something with this. So 15 years ago, Nokia paid 8 people about $50,000 a year to be observers, and they sent them to the fashion, trendy places in the world. Bonsai Beach down in Australia, Venice Beach out in California, in South London, around the world, and they said, here's what, how many of you guys want this job, by the way? Then you are yellow, okay? Then you are yellow, clearly. There's no issue about that one. And what they had to write a journal every night of what they saw people doing. One of the things that they saw people doing, most cell phones when they first came out were what color? Black. Why? Because engineers designed them. How many colors of clothes do engineers have? 1, white shirt and black pants. Why would you need anything else? Then you have to match the crap too hard. Right? So they put tons of features in a phone. How many of you guys today own a cell phone that does 1,000 things that you have no idea how to use? Because you've never read the manual, and you never will. Those of you that are 40, actually ask your kids to set it up for you. Say, I don't understand how to do this crap, but will you fix it for me? Yeah, Mom, here's a ringtone. Okay, whatever you call it. Right? What they found people doing was they were painting their cell phones. And Nokia said, hey, wait a minute. And as they started talking, do you know what the 2 biggest features people wanted in a cell phone were? A bigger screen and a color face, because they saw it as a personal appliance, not as a piece of technology. So Nokia created the changeable faceplate, became the #1 cell phone manufacturer in the world in 9 months. So your first assignment as you start to become a better marketer is, what are you going to do to listen to different voices? Who are you going to talk to? Who can you hear? And right now, guys, I have to tell you, there are more great voices out there than ever before. If you're not into the Apple world and the iPod, iTunes thing, you need to find out about it. Just pick a random kid off the street and pay him $10 to talk to you, and he'll tell you. If you go in iTunes, there's a whole series of podcasts, which are like radio broadcasts that are broadcast offline. Do you know you can subscribe to the Harvard Business Review, you can subscribe to the Yale Business thing for free, and they'll download a podcast on marketing every week. Now the guys who are doing them get paid $10,000 a day. You can get it for free. And there are thousands of these. But what I recommend you do is buy an iPod. It'll cost you $100 or $200, and get an iTunes account and surf through the thousands of them and find some of them that resonate with you, listen to them, and trade your radio for your account. In other words, if you will turn off the radio in your car and listen to your iPod and listen to these podcasts and listen to different voices to get marketing ideas, you're going to make tremendously more amounts of money. And I don't care whether you listen to oldies rock, I don't care whether you listen to New Age, I don't care whether you use conservative talk radio, I don't care if you listen to NPR, I don't care if you listen to Rush Limbaugh. None of those guys are going to make you money. A podcast will make you money. Trust me on this one. Rush, I'm just telling you, you ain't going to make no money. And what you need to do is carve out a place in your life to listen to a different voice that's going to help you with some marketing ideas. Now, what I want to look at is, how do we take all these scattered efforts in your life and begin to create a laser focus for them so you have the ability to build your business going forward. When I start, and go back, Danny and Wynn can speak to this. When we first started talking, one of our very first meetings,